So welcome everybody to the Your Desired Success Foundation Mastermind, all around paying it forward with the golden rule, which is do unto others as you would have done unto you. And what we're focused on here is paying forward our value, our knowledge, our experience to help each other win at the game of life. Now, Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, said about the power of the mastermind that it is the principle through which you may borrow and use the education, the experience, the influence, and perhaps the capital of other people in carrying out your own plans in life. It is the principle through which you can accomplish in 1 year more than you could accomplish without it in a lifetime if you depended entirely on your own efforts for success. Just think about the power of that. That's why we come together, the learning, the growth, the experience that we have, the ability to create relationships, communicate with like-minded people is what's going to make the shift. So if you'd like to start us off with the mastermind principles, Lynette.
Yes, the purpose of the mastermind is to share our value and connect with like-minded people in order to create wealth in all areas of our lives.
We are here to inspire and challenge each other to reach and exceed goals.
Trudy?
Oh, sorry, I thought it was number 4. Each member is committed to their own success as well as the success of every member of the group.
We are committed to meeting in person or virtually for 1 hour every week.
At present, there is no multitasking or distraction during meetings.
We are collaborative. We listen without interrupting, lecturing or judging.
We celebrate each other's successes without jealousy.
We are honest and participate by giving thoughtful feedback.
We are open and listen to different perspectives without being defensive or offering excuses.
Fellow members to share fully and have a laugh.
We are focused, but we also think it's important to have fun during meetings. Monday. Not sure if we've lost Monday. You go, Mum.
We are real and authentic. This
Okay.
is a no.
Okay.
Hurry up.
So
Veronica, you want to finish? Yeah.
we allow ourselves to become completely aligned with each other and the high forces, one mind, one soul, one love.
Beautiful. Thank you. So, as always, the importance of setting the foundation of the call is the principles. So everyone's aware of the energy that we're focused on, the vibration, as shared in the in the book, round about the frequency, the energy. A lot of the things, as I've said in the past, that the new versions of this tend to have removed. That's why it's important to get approved by the Napoleon Hill Foundation if you're going to buy a book. So excuse me if you hear a lot of crying in the background. There's nothing happening to the dogs. They're just being fed. So they like to make a lot of noise whilst that's taking place. So today we're diving, as I said, into around persistence. So I'm going to set this up around the chapter. So like a roller coaster ride, we all have ups and downs. Some days you're flying high like a bird. Other days you're a statue. Sometimes it seems like the latter is more common than the former. The easiest and most common thing to do when faced with difficulty, temporary setback, or rejection is to quit. Instead of giving up, when you're feeling low, is the time to double down and persevere. The most successful people aren't the ones who never take a hit. They're the ones who know how to take a hit without giving up. Okay, so when we reflect back on our lives to this point, there is no doubt been times in your life, maybe even right now, where you're being hit. You're feeling like you're just walking into a big, tall brick wall and you're not getting over it. But the reality of it is that you can, because when you look at the past, there's been situations where you've been able to get over it. It's just taken time. And because of the world we live in today, everything's happening so fast, we want that instant gratification. We're forgetting about what it can take to actually evolve and grow through it. And as I always refer to the movie The Shack, when he's taking him, when God and the other people are taking him to to this place. He's like, where are we going? And they said, don't forget to enjoy the journey. Stop focusing on where you're going. Enjoy the journey. Where you're going is exactly where you need to be right now. Focus here. So everyone who's choosing to be here and involved in this call is going to receive a high level of value. And the persistence even comes down to the little things like this. When you make a commitment to yourself to show up, to become better, it's the constant, persistent action you're taking. But more importantly, when you make a decision and commitment to others to show up, then you're elevating because you're receiving the energy from them. Now, in this book here, in chapter 9, it says here, persistence is an essential factor in the procedure of transmuting desire into its monetary equivalent. The basis of persistence is the power of will. Now then, we just did 2 weeks consecutively of creating our desire. So I'd love to know, with a show of hands, who has created their desire for at least the end of the year and written it out and is reading it daily? Show of hands. Trudy, good work. Veronica, Mum. Okay. Carly and Lynette, I don't know about Monday. Carly and Lynette, there's a clap from Monday. That's where you need to focus. I don't tell people what they should be doing or what they need to be doing unless you have made a clear direction that you want to improve. Okay, so if people come to me and say, I want things to get better, I'm going to say, you need to be doing this.
Yeah. Can I comment?
You may.
Thank you very much. I have made my goal for the end of the year, but I've decided it is so. And then I haven't been doing a daily mantra on that. I've been too busy focusing on my daily goal, which is to find people. So I've spent, anyway, all I'm saying is I've got a different approach to that. So it's not necessarily good or wrong. And so I've set the goal and I believe that's done.
Okay, well, we're going to find this very interesting with what follows, Carly.
Yeah,
so
yes, I'm just saying.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm not saying you're wrong by any means, but just listen to this part now. If you are following this book with the intention of applying the knowledge it conveys, your first test as to your persistence will come when you begin to follow the 6 steps described in the 2nd chapter, which was desire. Unless you are one of the 2 out of every 100 who already have a definite goal at which you are aiming and a definite plan for its attainment, you may read the instructions and then pass on with your daily routine and never comply with those instructions. The author is checking up on you at this point because lack of persistence is one of the major causes of failure. Moreover, experience with thousands of people has proved a lack of persistence is a weakness common to the majority of people. It is a weakness which may be overcome by effort. The ease with which lack of persistence may be conquered will depend entirely upon the intensity of one's desire. So, with that in mind, the question that I've got for anybody here is, can anybody hold their hand up and tell me honestly and confidently that they've been persistent to implement the teachings in Think and Grow Rich? Carly Boland.
I will say yes, but not in what you're reading, definitely.
Carly,
I can't explain it. I've just made decision.
Carly Bolo, you cannot tell me you have followed it when you just said no.
In Think and Grow Rich for Women, you make the burning desire and the decision. And I did and have. And one already created way before the 2 months was up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So
I didn't do a daily affirmation on that. It just created.
Yeah.
I decided. I owned my decision.
So I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong. I'm just saying that Remember, I'm following the book,
I know we're following the book. So am I.
aka Bible. So
It's long.
so all I'm saying is that those 6 steps
Yes.
of remember that, and some of us are better than others. So for instance, that thing of feeling into that desire, feeling every word, stepping into it, emotionally being shifted. The person who can do that quicker and really be present with it is going to be moving forward than the person that's not and is reading it as kind of like over reading it, just skipping over it, so to speak, and not emotionally connecting with it. So these are the things that, if it's working for you, what you're doing, Carly, fantastic. But the key things to also be looking at is, and this is, I'm speaking from an angle of my own experience and where I'm going. So this doesn't mean that it's your truth. It's just my truth. So I am very conscious of am I achieving things that I was going to achieve anyway? Like, so for instance, to create all the new back office that everyone can leverage in YDS with the videos and all that, that's a desire to get that completed, but that's going to happen because of my skill set and my ability to do what I can do. But to actually help 2,400 people minimum receive the value of all that is something that I've never achieved before. So I've really stretched myself to the point where some people have looked and their eyebrows have nearly fallen off at that number. So I know that it's a huge ask for me because I've never done it and I've never got anywhere near that kind of thing. So what's going to be an important role based on what I'm reading here is, am I persistent to what I've read and been taught, especially around those 6 steps? Because I will hold my hand up and say in the past, I've not been. You know, even on the past week, I know there's probably been 3. So I would have read 14 times, twice a day, morning and evening. And there's 3 times that I've missed reading my desire. Like I've forgot at night and just gone to bed. I've done my abundance game and fallen asleep. So can I say I've been persistent? The answer to that's no, because I haven't. Yes, Mother.
Isn't there somewhere in the book where he says that you don't have to read it as long as you say it twice a day to yourself? Because sometimes I don't actually read it. I get into bed and think, oh, I'm not going all the way back downstairs to read it. So I say it as the version, it's basically the same, but I say it as the version that I can think of at that moment. And I was under the impression that was fine. The fact that I wasn't reading it was not a problem.
Yeah, but you're still, the point there is that you're still stepping into it and doing it.
All right, yeah. Yeah.
So even though you're not reading it word for word, you're still doing it. Yes, Lynette?
I have written out my desires and that, but for till the end of the year, but yeah, I haven't been reading it. I completely forgot about that part.
Oh, good. It's a gentle reminder.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Can I add, Martin? So with burning desire, like me and Veronica have been playing with that chapter for a week, and then faith came in, and then auto suggestion, like we're talking about now. Like basically what we're doing right now is around auto suggestion until we get to a point in our inner knowing that we've fully accepted that the limitless possibility of anything can create. Like we're building the habit to get to an embodied knowing that we can actually ask for anything we want and it'll create when we own the burning desire. So all we're basically doing every day, no matter whether we're thinking it, Rosa, or repeating it in the mirror, or just writing it or talking or sharing with the mastermind what it is. Every time we show up, there's some form of it going deeper into our psyche, our full acceptance of it. It's a bit like with my breast lump, and whatever I decide is the truth, no matter what is the truth, how I want to show up and be with that. Now that's taken me a week to get used to that paradigm, which put everything else out the window, hence why I haven't been doing anything that is related to what you're asking us to do. But in one way, it's still the same form.
Yeah.
It's still me practicing till I get to full sovereignty in my decision on anything that I want. And it will create. Obviously, we all agree that it's in alignment with spirit, our soul, our purpose. But how many of us manifest just negative thoughts all the time? That's how easily it is done. So why not have the positive ones and learn to fully own them? And that's what these practices are doing. That's what Napoleon Hill's getting us all to do.
Yeah, beautifully shared, Carly. Thank you. Veronica. Like the good little girl she is, she's put her hand up, you see.
Teacher's pet, yeah, that's me. Persistence. It's not just about doing something in a dogmatic style. It's about just owning it. And you know, Carly's had other priorities, so she's owning it that way. And yeah, persistence is. What did Mark say today? He said, like, it's okay to rest, but don't quit. So yeah, if you don't make one session, then don't beat yourself up. Just pick yourself up and move on. Yeah. And also something that Gary was talking about this morning about autosuggestion. And it's as again, I'm thinking about doing something in a dogmatic fashion rather than actually really living and breathing it. Because he was talking about how the Hawaiians think that white people don't know how to pray, because when they're saying the words, they're not breathing them. They're not breathing any life into the words. So I've actually started reading I've been reading my Burning Desire to myself, but I've been reading it and practicing with Carly reading has been great as well, because just giving more life to what I'm actually reading the words is quite powerful. I can feel it a lot more powerfully.
Yeah, wow, what a share. Yeah, thanks, Veronica. That's something else for us to look at, especially with the value that we've got with them. Some of the members there who are, like, I know Wolfgang and Antje do a lot of breathing stuff. So, and there's other people in the community there as well. So, and that's when, you know, it's just things like this as we're having conversation that just triggered something in me and thought, oh, that's a good idea that I could start implementing. And the first question is, how do I do that? Well, with all due respect, we look and go, it's happening in the vault right now. I just need to go and go in there, learn that, connect with that. And that's why it's all there in one beautiful ecosystem of a hub. So with this then, did anybody else have something they wanted to share? Or did you want me to carry on? Just want to give everybody, oh, Trudy's all over this. Roll on, baby, roll on, she says. So be persistent no matter how slowly you may at first have to move, which is exactly what Mark shared today and Veronica just shared with us then. With persistence will come success. If you select your mastermind group with Kerr, you will have in it at least one person who will aid you in the development of persistence. So, can you think of somebody right now who you would want in your own mastermind to be your persistent accountability partner? Can you think of somebody you know that if you were to create, even if it's an invisible mastermind, because Napoleon had a lot of imaginative conversations. Napoleon imagined himself at a mastermind surrounded by other people, like who he had admired. So can you think of somebody? And if you can't, maybe put that in as accessing the imagination. Because remember that the whole thing around the desire is to access your imagination and to step into it as if you've already achieved it. You're already the person you want to be. You've already become that. So the next step to then go, okay, well, so-and-so is watching me and encouraging me, not attacking me, disempowering me, encouraging me to keep moving forward. And it might be yourself, it might be the greater version of yourself. Yeah? Okay, cool. So the hidden guide lets no one enjoy great achievement without passing the persistence test. Those who can't take it simply do not make the grade. Those who can take it are bountifully rewarded for their persistence. They receive as their compensation whatever goal they are pursuing. That it is not all. They receive something infinitely more important than material compensation. The knowledge that every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. So, what did you receive from that paragraph? I'd love to know. What is it you received from that paragraph, especially at the end? Every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Can somebody give me an example? Maybe someone we've not heard of yet. Trudy, go for it.
Maybe just you have to plant the seed first.
And just elaborate.
That's all I've got, Martin. That's what came to me when thinking about it, was like, yeah, just planting the seed, you know, like for me, just showing up here every Thursday is about the amount of energy I can put into anything right now. Well, that and a bit more, but you know, from what you were just saying with that paragraph to me was like, well, you've got to plant a seed first for anything to happen.
Yeah, beautifully shared, Trudy. So one of the things that Jim Rohn had spoken about was the farmer goes out and lays the seeds. Okay, as the farmer, let's just say, is on the tractor and the seeds are flicking out on the soil. Now, some of the birds are going to come down and take the seeds. Some of the seeds are going to land on unfertile soil, maybe some rocks. Some of the seeds are going to land and start getting into the ground beautifully. And so, as we know, if you were to speak to any farmer, they would tell you that out of the crop, there's a percentage that is beautiful. So that seed, they're able to reap. They're sowing and they're reaping. Some of the seed does nothing. Some of the seed's taken away by the birds. If you focused your energy being on that tractor, and I'm using this as a metaphor or analogy, whichever, if you focus being on that tractor and looking behind and seeing those birds, and every time you saw the birds come down, you got out of your tractor and you start chasing the birds, are you ever going to get anything that you're going to reap? So the focus is to keep doing what you're doing if it aligns with you. Being persistent every day, like we shared before, and even being kind to yourself, which has been a huge lesson to me. That taking time out to rest, to watch a movie, to go for a walk, to do something fun, is actually still part of the sowing. Is still part of what's going to be the reaping, because the only way you can keep going in something that is, even though it's aligned with you and you're not seeing the results, is by doing the things that keeps the vibration up there. Nice tail. Is by doing the things that keeps the vibration up there. So that goes back to the bamboo tree, which we've spoken about before. You plant the bamboo tree in, you go and water it every day, you make sure it's not being attacked by weeds, you nurture the area for 5 years. Nothing comes out the ground for 5 years. Talk about sowing. 5 years. And then literally 30 foot it shoots up. So most people would walk away. Most people would be there watering this bamboo or this bit of dirt, because there's a seed in there, someone watering it, and the neighbor's going, You've lost your bloody marbles, mate. That's never going to grow. But the focus was you planted the seed. And if you keep going and keep working towards it, you will get what you desire. And that's why it's important to look at. And the reason why we did the desire over the last 2 weeks was just to create a base level of what you want to achieve, to give you something. So like Carly put it out there and instantly like achieved it. And I'm not saying it was because it was already like simple for her to achieve it, but in my opinion, it's because Carly needs to challenge herself to go more. All through Carly's life, based on what I know, her communication, she's been told she is not worthy, that she can't achieve things. And now the growth that's taking place in Carly has been phenomenal. And in many ways, it's because she's not around those people anymore. She's been encouraged, she's been given the opportunities, but more importantly, Carly's choosing to step into them. Would I be right, Carly? I'm not that I'm attached to any outcome, but
What did you say? Didn't hear anything. Sorry, I mean
persistently
Yeah,
ignoring
right.
me.
You're right. Sorry, everyone. I was just having fun.
I know you were joking, but that's the key there, is that, and those people in the group who have seen the growth in Carly in particular, you know, like Veronica had shared on another call that since she came in and has been around everybody and been contributing, and remember, it's down to Veronica showing up. She's noticed the growth. Other people have noticed the growth. She's gained more confidence. And she's gaining more confidence because the people around her are confident in her ability and believe in her. She can naturally grow because she's encouraged to grow. Because nobody goes up to the plants in their garden and says, don't grow, don't grow, don't grow. Don't blossom. You're constantly emitting a love and an energy for the flowers to bloom, for it to grow. And that's the whole idea of what we've created here, that we want to see you and everybody else succeed, irrelevant of whether it's of any financial benefit or of any benefit to us whatsoever. But the true essence of the benefit of us is seeing you grow. We can only pick up on that vibration and take us to where we want to go to. Yes, Carly?
Yes, there's no way you cannot grow on one of these masterminds. Like, it doesn't matter where we're at in whatever business level we're at, success-wise, in any particular relationship. Every mastermind, when we've got a conglomerate group of people like this coming together with their sharing of where they're at, someone plants a seed in another that's listening, another plants a seed in you when you're listening, we all grow. You cannot not grow in these masterminds.
Thanks for sharing, Carly. Now I'm going to share this, and then I want somebody to dive in here, because it's not just an audience with Martin Ball, as much as I enjoy it. For 4 years, Miss Hurst learned about the sidewalks of New York from first-hand experience. She spent her days laboring and her nights hoping. When hope grew dim, she did not say, all right, Broadway, you win. She said, very well, Broadway, you may whip some, but not me. I'm going to force you to give up. So that was her faith in where she was going, that she was going to be successful on Broadway. So with that then, and I absolutely love that line, think of the faith because of her desire being so strong, and think of what that reflects and means to you right now. And I'd like to hear from somebody who's willing to share, maybe somebody who's willing to step up. Remember, you can't say anything that's viewed as wrong on this call. It's your truth, it's your reality, and it's your perception. Veronica.
When you read that, what I hear is a word that Gary's been saying every week is determination. So it's not just persistence, it's determination. It's not, and that kind of, I guess, gets past the dogma part of things, and just like, okay, this is my routine, this is what I'm going to do. It's about the determination to not just do it because it's part of your routine, it's doing it because it's related to something much bigger than yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, oh, sorry, Carly, go on.
I just wanted to share, like, it doesn't matter what it looks like every day in the moment, but with that persistence or determination, and like because we've set the big goal of whatever that is for you individually, every day, anything that shows up is your way through to the big goal. It doesn't have to look exactly like the book.
Mm.
Because as you go about the day and unravel that and go through that, no matter what it is for each one of us, you come through that and you've already mastered a part of you, even if you think you haven't, even if you still feel like shit, you actually are in the process. Sorry, you're actually in the process of going through that. And it's part of the big goal.
Yeah, 100%, Carly. I was just shocked at your passion that came up there. So I'll have to be aware of when you get excited next time and just mute you in a moment when I think you're gonna let it slip. But now we're only joking. We're having fun. So, and there's no judging. Remember, there's no judging at all. But what I'm curious to know there, Carly, is if I'm hearing you right, what you're saying is that the big goal. So let's say for me to be able to process this based on my logical brain at the moment, the big goal of a minimum of 2,400 people. Okay.
Yes.
Then from there, the focus isn't to just be 2,400 people plus whatever. The focus is what am I doing that's aligned action-wise toward that? Basically, kind of like milestones. Then that's all part of the abundance game. So, for instance, today, what I was working on was those introduction explanation videos. Therefore, those people who are coming in to receive the value as members are going to receive the introduction to support them and help them. So all of these are like building blocks. So even though it's not actually bringing in a person today as per se, it's still aligned work that's helping me get towards achieving that goal. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and even deeper than that, when I knew you were on that call today and I messaged you probably 10 minutes before, I actually thought, oh my God, this is your practice run. Like, I know you've done the meetings with the other company for a long time, but I honestly went, oh my God, this is the Layla of this whole day today. It was all for you to prepare for when you have 2,400 people in front of you.
Mm.
Like, that's what it felt like. Like, I know it's nothing to do with this company, but the universe put that in place.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to look at it, actually. How everything like that keeps happening, and the doors. And this is I suppose another thing that I've been looking at lately as well is there's been quite a few opportunities come my way. I'm not talking about new business ventures, but just opportunities to maybe be interviewed or do things, and I'm now going, hang on, it's kind of like oh, hang on a second, Beth, what's that movie that we watched with Mitch? Maybe it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, where the witch is trying to take, what's her name? Dorothy, like off the, yeah. And I absolutely loved it. So that was the first time I'd ever watched it. My mum might be able to say I watched it as a kid, but I don't recall. But anyway, where the witch is trying to pull Dorothy away from where Dorothy's going, where a desire is. So I'm kind of like looking at these things, and the question is this taking me in the direction that I desire to go? Not from a point of those, as you just mentioned there, the number of people I want to help, from an angle of, am I becoming more than I was through this process by choosing to take the time to be in here? And if I'm not, it's not of value to my own growth, then my energy and time, my focus needs to be exactly where I desire it to be, and I'm going, that feels aligned and right for me, because that is where I will have the biggest growth, even behind the screen, not in front of people working on the videos. Does that make sense? So it's important to be looking at, there's opportunities that are happening. Bob Proctor shared this. There's opportunities that are happening all the time, and for most people, they miss them because they are not aware of them. They are not awake to the opportunity. But it's also important that not every opportunity is for you. So that's why it's got to be clear where the desire is, because I've had a few conversations with people and they've said, this is where I'm going. Is what you're talking to me about or want to talk to me about going to take me away from that? And I am able to communicate with them when I'm clear on where they know where they're going. Because if they don't know where they're going, I'm just going to throw something else in front of them and say, how does this sound? But if like, for instance, if Veronica comes to me and says, Martin, this is what I want to go, where I want to go, this is what I want to achieve, I can turn around and say, right, Veronica, do you think that this might be something you're interested in that's going to help you get there? Because on the outside, I can see the value of this. And she might turn around and say, hey, this sounds like something good. Is it going to take me away from what I'm doing is the first question. Is it going to make me need more a time that will take me away, not only from what I'm doing, but away from time for myself? Because that persistence isn't just in regards to work. It's our life. Pretty confident everybody on this call wants more time to be with themselves and do things that they enjoy rather than just to work. Even though if you work doing what you love, and this is the thing, I love what I do, but I also love walking along the edge of the ocean. And I can't work as efficient walking along the edge of the ocean, and I don't want to be working along the edge of the ocean because I'm not present when I'm along the edge of the ocean. Do you see the importance of it? So it's being persistent in areas of your life and knowing that there's going to be at times a level of sacrifice in order for one to grow. Like the plant, it needs nurturing. There has to be a sacrifice of you nurturing that. The child, you know, I'm alive because my mum didn't just leave me there to just fend for myself at birth. Like, you know, it was a tough childhood, don't get me wrong, but she didn't leave me to fend for myself at birth. So I'm here because of her choosing to nurture. And if you ask my mom, it was a challenge for her as a parent. She struggled, but she did the best she could. And with all due respect, and without blowing my own trumpet, and without sounding like it's coming from a place of ego, I am proud of the person I am and the person I've become. And I'm grateful and proud of my mom and my dad. Like, do you see, like, can you see how you can truly shift your energy into something that's far greater than where we're at right now, just for being grateful of who we are, who we've become, and know that if we can get from that place as a little seed inside a womb to being where we are right now with the knowledge we've got, the experience we've got, the ability to serve ourselves and serve others, really, what are the limits? Has anybody got anything they'd like to touch on there? Yes, Lynette.
Lynn, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can see the value in where you're saying about reading our desires, or our, you know, our goal daily. Because yeah, lately I've been, you know, like struggling, and the other day I really wanted to quit doing what I'm doing, and I was just, you know, I'm thinking to myself that I've had enough. Somebody reached out to me, and I was like, oh, okay, is that the universe, you know, saying don't quit, just keep going? And yeah, just to stay persistent and not give up. Like when you read that last little from the book there about, like, you know, won't let the pavement fail, or walking the pavement. Yeah, so that's just a little bit of, and then also the last couple of days I have just been taking time out and just going and spending, you know, like half an hour with my horse, because I don't actually just stop and do things that I enjoy. So yeah, that's just what I've got out of that last little bit.
Good on you, Lynette. And just, are you playing the abundance game?
No, I haven't got in there. No.
Okay, so when you do, okay, gentle nudge, a nudge
Okay.
a nudge of love. So when you do, add in there, one of your goals is to spend time with your horse.
Okay.
Because it's important to put goals in there that actually are serving you and filling your own cup.
Yeah.
So I have 4-wheel driving, watch your sunset, watch your sunrise, go on the beach, talk to a friend. I have things that that serve me that aren't work related. Whereas in the past, all my goals were work related.
So
what did Martin do? He just worked. Just because all I saw in front of me was work, 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 work. I was excited to achieve them, which also makes me think around, yeah, like Veronica said there, we go through the abundance game on the 30-day quest. And thanks for sharing that, Veronica. But the other thing as well is what you're doing there, where you said you were kind of like ready to quit, is what you're doing, and I don't know what it is, but does it bring satisfaction? Do you feel satisfied doing it?
I do when I stick to my plan and stay consistent. But yeah, I guess it gets a little bit lonely, like, because I have, I'm sort of doing it on my own. So that's where, I've been struggling with, is to have like an accountability partner or someone to collaborate with.
Is, just out of curiosity, is this in a workplace, or is this in your business, your online business, your Magic?
No, in a business that I have.
Okay, so, but there's no one you can speak to for support.
There would be if I reached out, but you feel like they're all in other teams.
Yeah. So I like what Trudy said. You're never alone. Reach out; someone will answer. There's a few people so my mum, for instance, she's working with some of the ladies in the UK because they're on the same time zone and they're all in different teams, but they're all supporting each other and helping each other. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about people being in different teams, because the angle of, remember, or just more so be aware of the fact that, like the power of the mastermind, there's different energies, there's different experience, there's different value. And through having conversations with people, it gives you ideas. Now, even though, for instance, Dave and I worked together, Dave was very good at getting on phone calls and speaking to people, whereas he didn't really have any interest in being in front of people. I didn't really enjoy being on phone calls. I wanted to be in front of people. So, but by just being around him and listening to him, I picked up on key skills to help me when I was on the phone. And there was nothing wrong with me on the phone. It was just, I felt disconnected from the person. And he gave me the confidence in just listening to him and watching him to just do it. So, even though they're not in the same team, you can still get value. But there are a few things. I'm just curious, is it in Agic? Yeah. So
Yes.
there are a few things that we're working on in NG that will help. Okay, that will help that are in Agic related, but it's going to be maybe next month or the month after before we're live, but it will help. Okay, so cool. just keep thinking Thomas Edison 10,000 times, 10,000 ways of not to make the light bulb. Okay. So,
thank you.
You're welcome. Mother.
Yeah, just want to say, Lynette, that what I did was I started doing a bit of a meditation, and in my meditation I was manifesting a team. Now I thought I was manifesting a team that I would produce and grow below me and I would nurture. And I ended up producing a team of 2 other girls, and between the 3 of us, we have made a team. So I don't know where I kind of got it wrong between the universe and I. We kind of like misunderstood. But what I want to say is it came out of from a girl who I knew, who put me in touch with other people. And obviously, this is what the universe felt I needed at the time. And I have so embraced, and like Marty says, these 2 girls, there's actually 3 of them, but there's 2 of us, there's 3 of us that are actually working together. The other girl I speak to every Monday morning. And I'm happy to do that, Lynette, if you want just somebody to chat with and push ideas across. I'm happy to get into a time zone with you and set something up for every week. And that way your confidence grows and you start to become, because I know what it feels like. I always used to say to Martin, it's all right for you, Martin. You've got people around you. I had nobody. But this connection with these 2 girls and this other lady has absolutely moved me onto a different level. So I'm happy anytime, Lynette, to obviously I won't be happy at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I'm happy at any decent time to share anything with you and work together with you. Because between us we can climb mountains, we can help each other, and you know, that's where I want to be. So yeah, just are you on Facebook?
Yes. Thanks, Rose. Sure, I will. Yeah, I'll contact you. Thank you.
Yeah, friend me on Facebook, and then we can start messenger each other and get a time and sorted. Yeah.
All right, that'll be great. Thank you.
Lynette, I think you had her when you said you've got a horse.
Yeah, you did, Lynette. You did, because I'm coming over and we are spending all day with the horse. That's it.
All right, I can do that. No problem at all.
Just to let you know, Mum, Lynette's not in Perth. But
oh, where are you, Lynette?
I'm Queensland.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Martin could pick me up from Queensland. Not a problem.
Yeah. So not a problem, Mother. Yes, not a problem. So and what we just saw so beautifully there was an example of speaking out and somebody ready to come and help. But if you don't speak out, you can't be heard to be helped. You see that, like the strength that it takes, because there are people who are wanting to help and they're just waiting for somebody to ask. And if more people asked, more people would be able to move in the direction they want to go, because people are ready to serve.
Yeah. that's a big thing too, is that, you know, we're scared to ask for help because you feel like you shouldn't need it. And yeah, you don't want to appear silly or yeah, weak, and you should be able to do it on your own. But yeah, definitely I need to learn to ask more.
If you and I've been there and I felt that way, Lynette. But one of the things that I'm going to say here is that has anybody watched "I'm Not Your Guru" by Tony Robbins on Netflix? I'm Not Your Guru. That if you get the opportunity to watch that, it's fantastic. But even though the event is about Tony Robbins and it's basically filming him, I think over 12 months or something, and the filming him, the whole thing around it when you watch it is that Tony Robbins is one person who stands on the stage and does what he does and gets down and interacts with all the people there. But if you watch all the team who are working around, and when they break out into the groups, it's all the other people. Tony's able to do what he does because he leverages other people. Richard Branson leverages people through his businesses to help them achieve what they want to achieve, but for him to achieve what he wants to achieve. So even though a common view in societies is I shouldn't need to ask for help, it's weak to ask for help. That's a society view. That's a stigma that's been created in society, but it's not the truth, because from the moment we're born, we need help. And why should that change throughout the rest of our life? But the beautiful thing about it is that as we're growing up, we're able to give to help others. So instead of us just needing it all the time. So when I went through the depression, my mom would tell you, you know, I needed help, and I felt weak and I felt inferior and I felt of no value asking for help from people. But it was the help that people chose to give me that's helped me be who I am today. A far better and stronger version who's able to help more people. But I had to reach out and ask for help. That's the beauty of it, because we're limited by where we're at. And when somebody comes in and shares that value, they give us something that we didn't have. And therefore, we have to become bigger than we were. We have to become stronger. We have to become more powerful. Not from a place of dominating other people, from a place of becoming more than we were. Now, it does take courage. It does take courage. But the problem is that if we focused on the negative side of it's weak, and I should know this, and I should be able to do this, that's all the negativity. If we focus on that, and that's where our vibration is, that's always going to hold us back. But if we focus on, through me giving somebody the opportunity to help me, I am going to become more than I am, and I'm going to be able to achieve more and impact more. Does this make sense? This is why I love what we do. This is why I love what we do, because none of us are doing it to be stood on a stage and be getting all the applause. We're doing it 100% for the cause. You know, I'm already thinking about what I'm leaving behind when I pass. It's not that I want my life to end. It's just that I know that what I'm working on and creating now is going to still be here for other people to benefit from. The same way as I'm still leveraging from Napoleon's work, from Wayne Dyer, from Zig Ziglar, from all these people who are having a huge influence on my life and who I am and my ability to serve and be of more value in this lifetime and beyond. And these people aren't even with us in this lifetime. Now, some people can't see that for themselves, and that's fine. But there is a 100%, there is a reason why we are here right now in this time. And sometimes it makes no sense, especially with what's going on in the world right now. But we are supposed to be here in this time, in this moment. And if we get out of this logical brain and take that 18-inch journey down into the heart, and just feel into what's important for us, and we fill our own cup, it will overflow and serve everybody else. Mother, have you put your hand up again?
Yeah. I just want to say, I know where Lynette's coming from, when you know, about asking people for help, because everybody, you always think, and being the youngest of 5, this is how happens so often in my life. You always think everybody's coping, and also I think the biggest problem when you ask for help is if somebody turns around and says no. That is the biggest problem. And or do it yourself, go and find out yourself. Well, when you don't know where to find things out, and when you don't know where to look, you just feel lost and alone. And that has taught me a lot, being the youngest of 5 and growing up with this, where they just wouldn't tell me anything. They wouldn't help me when I needed help. And having Italian parents, a lot of it was schoolwork, and it was get on with it. I had to do it, you get on with it. And it you know, and my day can be like that. I can ask Dave for help, and I'm thinking, oh my God, the stress that we're going to get, is it worth asking? Do you know what I mean? And sometimes that's why you don't ask for help, and that makes you, in situations like this, when I first joined these calls, I didn't want to say anything, because I just felt I didn't know anything, I didn't understand anything, I had nothing to contribute. And I know I'm on different levels to different people, but I think we all bring something special to the group. And today has been another one of them occasions, Lynette, by you saying what you're saying, has opened up like all emotions in me, because I know exactly how you feel. So it's about being there and asking. It's about attending them and asking, and then being part of what we've got, because I think what we've got here is absolutely amazing. And you know, you might not think it's helping or you're growing, but well, I feel I've grown anyway. I might not in height, but I definitely, we are that way, but not that way.
Yeah, exactly, Rosa. And yes, I'm so glad that I have been coming to the mastermind, because I feel that I have grown, you know, in confidence. And that's probably the other thing about asking for help is, you don't feel good enough to ask the person you want to ask, or to ask somebody who's a bit ahead of you. But definitely turning up to these calls has helped immensely. So thank you.
Yeah, I just a quick here. One of the girls I speak to on a Monday, I said I would join a call with her. She's all, you know, in the same company as we're in, Lynette. And I thought I was going to help her. Oh, Miss Clever here was going to help her. It turns out she knew more than I did, and she's taught me loads. so it's just brilliant, you know. But
that's good.
And that's why it's so important that each of you and anybody who's choosing to show up in the Your Desired Success community is aware that this is a safe space. It's a place where you can come and you can reach out and ask for help. Is anybody wanting to be an accountability buddy? Like, there's people who do want to play that role and have the roles reversed and support each other, and they're looking. And have you ever been at an event or maybe an online call, and there's something you're thinking about, a question you're thinking about, but you're hesitant to ask, and then somebody asks the question and you go, oh, thank you, because they've asked that question? Well, it was in a way, it was a conscious energy that was being put out there to ask that question, and the person who's confident in themselves asks it. So they have no issue. They're not thinking about anything else, but they're like the voice. They're the collective energy for the voice to come through. So when we did the event, when we were attending an event, the facilitator said, ask as many questions as you can whenever you want, because if you don't, you will only get the information we've planned to give you. If you ask questions, you'll get far more than we wouldn't have been able to serve you with, because we wouldn't have dived into that. And I found myself, and we all know I can talk, but I always used to be the shy one. But I found myself so confident asking these questions. And a girl that I've known for several years messaged me them after the first night, and it was over 3 days and over 3 days, 2.5 days. And she said, your ability to ask questions in the way that you do astounds me, because you're able to get incredible information from these people based on the quality of your question. Now, I haven't gone to learn how to ask questions and stuff. I truly believe it's from these masterminds in the ability to listen, to pick up on things, but also to be confident to communicate it. And I was getting a lot, and people were saying, oh, I'd love to know more. Can you expand on that? Great question, and so on. And it wasn't that I am all high and mighty in regards to asking the questions. It was that there was a collective energy, and I was the one who was comfortable. And I said, I am going this weekend to get as much information that I can to help me grow. So my intention was already very clear and set. I'm going to show up 100%. And little did I know that when I made that intention, it wasn't just for me to receive what I needed to, it was for everybody else to receive more than they would have. Does that make sense? That's why there's always something bigger taking place. Far, far bigger. You all right, Mum? You look like you're about to burst into tears. Oh, you're all right. Yes, Carly.
Well, I was going to say, that sort of happened for me this week. On Mark's call on Monday for them, Tuesday for me, I had a thought about the principles, and I nearly asked, but I didn't, because they were talking about some other subject. And then on today's call, they spent probably 20 minutes on the two principles, and I thought, how interesting. Did I create someone to ask the question that got my consciousness from 2 days earlier? And Mark even said, I wasn't expecting this question to go for this long, but I thought, how interesting, because that was my question that I hadn't asked yet, because, yeah. So it is all energy conscious, received.
Absolutely. But there's also that thing of, if you don't, like Veronica reached out to me in the week and made me aware of something that I had overlooked. And it's like, oh, okay, yep. Thanks for making me aware of that, because now I can make the changes to accommodate everybody. And there's that important thing that there's sometimes, especially with these calls, there'll be an intention for the call. And when you realistically, the attention is for everybody, as Carly said earlier, to leave this call with a level of growth that's taken place. But the intention of the topic was persistence. But the angle of where it can go and the conversation is totally open. There's no hang on, we're off track, get back over here, you can't talk about that. It's like, hey, let's let this flow, because what needs to come up will come up. And if somebody needs to let go of something, or somebody needs to receive something, this is the place for it to happen. So,
it builds the confidence, for Lynn to come on next time or this time and ask that question. And then Rosa beautifully expressed, that she'd be happy to be an accountability buddy, or at least have the conversation. So that builds the confidence. The more, you feel more confident next time, because in this platform, we're all equally received in our voice and expression.
Yeah, beautiful. Ladies and gents, because Monday's here as well, I'm not stealing the limelight as the only male in the room. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for sharing, even in the chat there. And you never ask, you never know. You're totally on par there, Monday. Absolutely. And what is it? If you don't ask, you don't want. So there's another one as well. So you got to reach out and ask. And I think Wayne Dyer said, if you don't get out there and tell the universe what you want, why should the universe go out there and give it you? Boom, mic drop right there. So we've got to be very clear on what we want to achieve. But then as we know, based on what the book says, what are we willing to give in exchange? It's just simply an exchange of energy. That's all it is. So next week is chapter 10 in my book, The Power of the Mastermind. So enjoy that topic, enjoy going through that chapter, and then we'll dive deeper into it on our own mastermind next week. So thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day and your week, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.